Greetings all, thedvsmonkey here. We're in the midst of a fairly awful heat wave. I'm sure that's everywhere in this country, but I don't give a shit about that. I only care about here. And here, like say for instance today, it's 97 degrees, but according to the Weather Channel, feels like 107. So it's at least 10 degrees warmer with the heat index and depending on the humidity. And you all know from watching my sweaty, greasy ass walking around that it's humid as frick here. So it has been absolutely almost unbearable. And my problem in my house is that my office is right above the garage. It faces the sun from the moment the sun comes up until about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I have, let's see, a 40-inch TV, a 27-inch iMac, a 27-inch external monitor, the sound equipment, a gigantic HP laser printer, my Arlo hub, my Orbi hub, an Alexa, and a skull. I also have all of the charging stations everywhere, a battery backup underneath the desk, plus all the power run back behind there. I'm telling you that because whether you know it or not, all those electronics produce heat. I don't care if you've got LEDs, I don't care if it's an LCD TV, any of that shit, it produces heat. And if you don't believe me, you can bring your ass here to my office and you can sit here for half an hour and sweat when you realize how hot it gets. When it goes up over, I'm gonna say 85 outside, it's hot as balls in this office. A minimum of 10 to 15 degrees warmer in this room than outside of the room. Once you cross the door, the threshold, you feel it immediately. Last year, our AC broke. The capacitor blew out and you know, what came first? The capacitor blew out, or a capacitor blew out, and the motor went bad. So I had to have all that shit replaced. So for about a week, like you could hear it running, but yet it kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter in the entire place, not just in the studio here. And I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on until one day I knew that it was running, but I went outside and the fan wasn't turning. So I had my guy come and he fixed all that shit. We were discussing the fact that it's so freaking hot in my office. And he said, well, it's because, you know, the unit is up in the attic and it's all the way over there, almost on the other side of the house. And the line, this is the longest run because it goes all the way from the furnace all the way out almost to the end of the house up there. There's one vent that's over the window. He said, he took a little digital temperature. He said it's 157 degrees in your attic right now. So that cold air has to go from the unit all the way through all that tubing to the other side of your house. So it's got to travel through that 157 degrees. And the problem is that's all original equipment. So what was up to code then wouldn't be up to code now. And it was too thin and too small. So it's not blowing enough cold air. So I was like, well, what can we do? You know, bottom line, I had him cut another vent in on the other side of the office and use new, thicker, bigger tubing, and he replaced the old one with the newer stuff. It made a huge difference, but not enough when it's a heat wave out. So since it's like 100 degrees out every day, and then add 10 degrees plus the humidity and all that shit, and being in the direct sunlight, it's like unbearable in here with all those electronics going. So I have been running fans. I've tried to run fans that suck hot air out, that blow air in, that blow air out of the office, that blow air into the office. I made those, what are they called, redneck air conditioners, where you take a little cooler and you put a fan that blows down into it on the ice and a PVC pipe on the top and it blows out. So I made 2 of those yesterday, and it's so freaking hot in this office that the ice melted within an hour. So it was nice for about 45 minutes and then it was right back to hot as balls. So I was pretty frustrated about it. I had to go get a massage yesterday. After I left the massage, I went to the Home Depot. Because it's a heat wave, I'm not shitting you, they had like 5 AC units in the entire store. They had nothing. And they were all $600 units, which I wasn't going to spend the money on. I researched it last night trying to come up with what I wanted because I want it to be cool in here, but it's only 11 by 14, so it's not that big. I don't want to get a teeny little unit that isn't going to do jack shit. Long story short, today I went to Lowe's and it was funny because there was me and like 3 women, and I listened to the women talking. They were saying that they have been to every store in the Virginia Beach area, every other Lowe's, every other Home Depot, Target, Walmart. Nobody has AC units, and it's because of this heat wave. Nobody can keep them in stock. So we got lucky, and they had a number of things. Now I spent way more money on this thing than I would have liked to have spent, but I also know don't be cheap, especially with something like this. I got this GE Ultra Quiet air conditioner. It came with the window stuff and all that crap. And it took me a while to get my window out and the screen and all that stuff and get it all set up. I still have to go out and brace it tomorrow. But I thought, okay, I know my main central air has been running nonstop, and I keep getting warnings from my Ecobee thermostats telling me that, hey, there might be a problem. Your AC unit's been running for several hours and the temperature keeps going up. So I thought, well, you know what, screw it. Let's just go balls to the wall. So I turned that bitch on high and had it blowing out there, and it brought the entire house's temperature down 5 degrees. And that's just reaching all out through every other room upstairs. And it's actually so cool in this room that it's almost like I almost have to put another, like a sweater on or something like that, just the way I like it. I couldn't be happier. In fact, I have had a shit-eating grin on my face all day since I had that thing turned on. And the only reason it's off now is so that I can do this video. Okay, that's all I've got for you today. I know that I've been kind of going on an every other day thing, so I wanted to get something for today. And, this is nothing great. I'm telling you about my AC and the heat wave, whatever. This is good stuff, man. Thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe, and all that shit. And remember, kids, forward and up.